What is going on, everybody? Blazing here. Welcome back to the channel. Guys, I hope you are ready because we got another collab here today. We're going to be talking about something that is going to be benefiting your account. But the big question is going to be, who is the collab with? It's someone that possibly may not be in their right mind because they fed a Sifi. It's the one, the only, JR Star Threes. Jay, how are you doing, my man?
What's up, Blazing man? Great to be here. Can't wait to get right to this and talk about these special champions for Centranos.
All right. Hey, I'm glad you're on, man. Guys, by the way, we did do a collab video over on Jay's channel talking about the best rares, right? So I will put that in the link in the description below in the link, and I'll also put it in the pinned comments down below too. So, Jay, Centranos, man, we've got to start thinking outside the box. We got to start doing things differently. We got to start looking at the skill kits of all these champions because boy, do we need a lot. And let's hit it off with some epic champions that are going to benefit us for Centranos and are going to benefit us on our account, everywhere from faction wars and everything. So you're the guest. Give me your first one.
All right, this one, my number one is gonna go with this champion. Man, she used to be laughed on way back in the days. No one liked her. If you pulled out of her shard, she was garbage. You actually got upset. It was a waste of an epic. I'm gonna go with Woad Painted. In the Barbarians factions. She was just kind of like in the beginning, like they were trying to do this whole thing. They didn't put the right main damage scaling right. Like attack champions it would be like an HP champion like Jotun would all be attack. It doesn't make sense if they're HP champions. They should scale. Now she scales correctly with everything HP, but she also has like lockouts from time to time. But the main thing that everyone talks about is her A2. It is crazy. It's one of the strongest heals in the game. Like and she gets an extra turn, and she also puts reflex damage, which can be good against the Fire Knight. Can help you do a little bit of extra damage as well. It's just she's so pretty crazy, and she also her heal is based on her HP. So like if you don't take too much on her and she surpluses, you can literally get it's like equalization. You know how like equalizing people's HP literally looks like everybody goes to full. It's the same way with her A2. I actually think it's pretty crazy of a champion now. Overall, she has really good HP as well. Almost 20,000 for an epic is really good too.
Yeah, solid pick right there. I know Deadwood just beat the what's his name, Animus, with her. Pretty solid. She did. She went from 0 to right now in this content. She's pretty much like an OP hero, right? So great pick for your number one. Starting off with like a grand slam. Let me see. Let me see what mine's gonna do. So my first one's actually going to be with the same faction, and it's going to be Jolted. Now, Jolted, looks like a, Turbo's little brother. He looks like he should be doing so much damage, but he does absolute crap. But what makes him really key right now is his A2, right? Attacks one enemy, has a 75% chance, books up to 100% of placing an HP burn for 4 turns on a 3-turn cooldown. So even if you don't book it all the way and you just book it for the 100% or even the 75%, still very solid, right? And he can do a little bit of damage. Play him if you're watching. Just give him a little bit boost of his multipliers. But I'm sitting here looking at him for like Frostbiter. He's coming in clutch. I don't know. What do you think, Jay?
Yeah, after they changed him from attack to HP, just like Woad Painted and him, it definitely fixed him out a lot better. He's pretty tanky too. 1200 defense for an HP champion on top of having HP. In terms of the multipliers, you're right. They could just make his max HP at 60 a little bit higher, like 18, 19,000. Maybe that'll balance him out. But overall, he has so much in his kit. He has the burn, he has a destroy max HP, and the A1. I don't know why they didn't give him strong decreased defense, but
Right?
it doesn't matter either way. Overall, he's still a really good epic. I actually have a level 60 Jotun, and I actually use him from time to time.
Yeah, no, he's that. And you know what? For Centranos currently in like hard mode, you really don't need to bring him up to 6-star. You can use him at 50. I just did a showcase with him, and he was at 50, and he did his job perfectly fine. So definitely one of my number one picks. What you got for number two?
For number two, it's actually kind of funny that it actually turns out to be the same faction. This champion was laughed on when he first came out. You know, he was a fragment summon, and people were like, "No, we're not gonna go for this guy. Like, I can skip it." And I was, you know, even I skipped it because I was like, I might just gonna pull him out of a shard later on. But now people are starting to see in Centranos everything being so specific, and he's one of the only epics that can do what he can do in the actual game. And that's gonna be Hoskirl. Um, he's a defensive champion that basically has lots of CC, lots of stunning. He's immune to stuns. He can cleanse AoE stun, and he has one particular thing: is the A3 gives you strong increased defense to your whole team and increased res. Now, it might not be the 50%, but res is now become a very strong thing if you want to solo, if you want your teams to basically not be disrupted by the waves or bosses. It's very, very strong champion. And he has really good stats as well. 1321 defense and almost 18,000 HP for an epic. And he also gets an extra 5 to 50, I guess you could argue 10 to 15 res extra at level 60.
Yeah, solid pick right there, man. You know, he definitely was laughed on. I remember when he came out because he was like right after the Halloween fusion or Thanksgiving fusion into Christmas type thing or something like that. They usually do an epic one, and he was one of them. And I was like, easy skip for me. I don't. I'll pull this guy out of a shard. I don't care. And you know, I really haven't paid him much mind. He's been like a 4-star chicken for the most part. And actually, recently I got a request to do a guide on him. So I do actually have one built on the channel. So we will be putting out a guide soon. But very, very solid pick right there. If you put him in like a stun set, you're going to lock everything out as much as possible, right? Really, really solid call out right there. So my number 2 is actually an oldie, but a goodie one. This champion could be used as a nuker, as a debuffer. And, you know, she's Gaelic's partner in crime, Zargala, man. I mean, she looks badass, and she does a lot of work for you, right? The A3 does decrease defense on all enemies, right? It's a triple hitter, pretty solid. The A2 attacks one enemy, instantly activates crack armor. So if you kill somebody, really solid, and then brings a weaken on the A1 with a solid accuracy aura in all battles. I mean, I'm grown to be a huge, huge fan of Zargala. Definitely a epic that I would suggest everybody gets a copy of if possible and levels out. Do you have one built?
I don't have. I might actually have a 61. I thought I had a 51 for Faction Wars when I was pushing way back a few years, but she's one of those champions that people even like endgame players like years ago used to tell me, bro, you can use her to help you during like Doom Tower full auto because she can. If you kill someone, you get to reset. So she's basically like an Orc Harima. She allows herself to use her strong skill, and then by killing someone else, you get the strong skill back over and over, and she puts decreased defense. So I'm actually thinking about getting her to 60 if I don't, and I want to get a really, really good build, like, you know, strong build. She's a really good choice.
Yeah, and the best part is like, so when the A2 activates the cracked armor, it doesn't put it back on cooldown. So it's just like Harima, just adds the extra utility, right? So yeah, what you got as number 3 for me, Jay? Give me something good.
All right. Well, this one's kind of special to me, but I actually think people are gonna like her. A lot of players have probably pulled this champion. Thought, is she even worth it? Right? She's a very unique champion. She's from the Bannerlords. It's gonna be Rowan. So like the A1, you might be thinking like, okay, A1 has heal reduction, but heal reduction is important, you know, against like bosses like the Fire Knight. Heal reduction can actually even be used against Amius, the Lunar Archon, right? So it's really strong up. It's really high up there. She also brings stuns for like if you're fighting waves or if you're trying to fight the Fire Knight. She has multi hits on it. And then the last skill, her A3, which is Blade Surge, is a quad hitting skill that puts 4 poisons guaranteed as a Void champion. That's pretty good. Another thing too is that she's very, very fast. People used to complain she's kind of squishy, but a lot of her skills they scale off, like her A1 scales off attack and speed. Not many epics that you'll see people scale off 2 things, maybe Legos, but yeah, I just think I use her as a ASDD champion, but I've seen people build her as a nuker. Most people are going to build her as a control champion that can do a little bit of stunning, poisons, and maybe, you know, heal reduction for Amius. I think she's going to be a sneaky pick that people don't even talk about, but I think people should look into her.
Okay. I'm looking at it here, and you know, like the A2 seems pretty solid. Even with the triple, like, I mean, you could definitely use her unbooked. She's not going to do. Does she have good multipliers? Like, how good are her multipliers?
Well, if you're trying to build her as a nuker, you could do some damage, but I would try to do like a either straight ASDD or ASCDD, so not going too much crazy damage. Because you build too much damage, then she's gonna get one shot. So I would recommend people getting more speed, getting more of those stuns off, more poisons off, heal reduction, stuff like that. That's what makes her really strong. Is that you want to build her very very fast, like 250 plus around there.
Okay, so building her as a straight out support to just stun lock everybody. All right,
Yeah.
I get behind that. I get behind that. That's actually really really good. All right, so my third pick, man. This champion was back in the day scary for arena. Just super super OP and looks super awesome. Miscreated monster. I mean, I remember even still when I see like Ash's intro and it's miscreated, I was like, oh, he looks so cool. But I mean, this guy, what do you need? You want to decrease defense? He's bringing it on the A1, right? You want a shield and stun? Boom. One of the biggest shields. I remember back in the day, you could not do Spider without a miscreated monster. He just gave you that massive, massive shield. Ally protection heals on the A2, or the A3, sorry. And then the best part for Spider, it made him like an absolute god tier champion because when somebody got hit under Ally Protect, he would always fear them. And it doesn't matter if it's his or somebody else's. And it's really, really solid. Arena, 33%, right? Granted, Plarium, if you're watching, we'll take it down to like 25, but just do all battles, right? But what do you think, man?
Yeah, man, this champion was oppressive. You combined him with a Skull Crusher, and you just getting counterattack, stunning everyone in the A1 and the A2. Man, he was just crazy. And like you said, the passive doesn't say placed by this champion if an ally protection. So if you bring another ally protection champion, the fear will get placed on those enemies. It's tons of CC, tons of support for your allies. Really strong champion. Way back when he first came out, and still to this day, I still think he's very oppressive as a control champion. He's really good, man.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. All right, so we're up to number 4, Jay. How good is this one?
This one is kind of one that people use for faction wars. People, talked about him a little bit, but he's not super heavily used or built. But now with Centrenos and being able to solo bosses and double bosses and stuff like that, I definitely think this is going to be a really good one. He's in the demon spawn. It's going to be Gorlos Helma. He's got pretty good stats. He's kind of the only thing that's hurts him is the HP because he's kind of squishy, but he has more defense. But the A1 has each hit fills champion's turn meter by 10% if their target's going to be under decreased defense, HP burn, or decreased AC. He does do all three, so you will be able to get that. The A2 is an AoE decreased defense, kind of like a War Maiden, but he's a Spirit Affinity version, right? It is 100% on a 3-turn cooldown. But the one that I think that people are going to be looking at is the Gnashing Fangs, which will attack one enemy, has 100% fully booked to put HP burn, and a 50% decreased accuracy debuff for 3 turns, not your typical 2. And he fills turn meter if he has 100% crit. So that's going to be really interesting by making the boss or specific enemy to have less axe so you can have more resist, and then you're also burning them. I definitely think, I wouldn't be surprised if people made solo strategies with him, or at least helping you fight certain bosses so you can have more resistance.
That's a great call out right there. I mean, come to think of it too, I think he's the only one that brings a decreased defense in the faction. No, yeah. So he's kind of like MVP with that. Because I remember when I first got him, I was like, I had my Kaimar, I had my Duchess. I had my OP teams, and my runs were like 2 minutes for faction wars. Then I put this guy, and all of a sudden it's like a minute. I'm like, whoa, hold up. And that decreased defense is huge, right?
Yep.
The A2, that is huge. 100%, 3-turn cooldown for 2 turns. Very, very solid. The aura, attack and Doom Tower, like, ugh, come on. Let's get over all this stuff and just do all battles, Plarium. Come on, all battles. All right, solid pick right there, man. As a number 4, that came in really, really strong. All right, so I've got my next one, and this guy was actually a very, very strong clan boss. We talk about Frozen Banshee being great early game, but this guy probably was as strong, if not stronger. And with this new content, I mean, he's providing multiple roles, right? That's a cult brawler. A1, poisons, 2 turns. A2 does a whole bunch of things, whatever you need him to, depending on how many poisons he's got on him, and provides us with a block revive. Ice Golem, block revives the ads. Frostbiter, block revives the ads. Dragon, poisons. What are we talking? Scarab, poisons, perfect. And then every time a round goes through, he places poisons on him too, and then he can cleanse them, which is really, really solid. Like, I remember this guy, for a while got pushed back as a Vault Guardian, but I think with this new content, he's going to start shining a little more. He's definitely making it onto my rosters. What about you?
Yeah, man. He's really tanky. 20,000 HP as a epic is really strong. His defense is a little bit low, but he does just bring a lot of damage, man. People used to just have him only as their damage champion in Clan Boss, so he definitely can be built out to last. You can, if you need to, put him in like a shield set or a guardian set or something like that, just to help out your team. You can, because he's pretty thick, but he also brings tons and tons of poisons. If you have other poisoners, and you can synergize with him as well. It is random on the passive because it's meant to be for bosses, but he's got so much in his kit. And a lot of people don't have a lot of block revive. Most of them are like legendaries and stuff. If you don't have Phoenix, so definitely his A2 is going to be able to do a lot of work in terms of killing Dragon, Frost Spider, and some other things as well, like little minions from Ice Golem. It's going to be super good.
Yeah, yeah. That's I just love this guy. I really do. All right, pick number 5, Jay. This is your last one. Make it good. Your bases are loaded. Hit me with that Grand Slam, man. Hit me with the Grand Slam.
This champion, honestly, ever since she got added to the game, even the community was like, "What? We don't want to pay 4 sacred shards for her as a guarantee. It's not worth." But honestly, she was huge on my account back then and still to this day. And that's going to be in the Night Revenants. It's going to be Rector Drath. Now her aura, of course, is mainly for Doom Tower, but she's basically one of the only champions in the game that can not only AoE Perfect Veil, heal people, increase their res, and she has other stuff like revives and decrease accuracy, decrease attack on the A1. That's a lot of great stuff when you're fighting a boss or when you're fighting strong enemies. I've used her for so long. She helped me in Faction War. She helped me in Doom Tower. She helped me against Bommel. Super insane champion, honestly. When it comes to Cintranos and when I think of fighting these double bosses, she's going to be amazing. I think people are sleeping on her. She has 109 base speed for an epic is huge. She also has good defense and HP. I wish it was a little bit higher HP, but because she's mainly you build her HP. But other than that, she's really amazing. I think everyone needs at least one Rector Drath level 60.
Yeah, solid pick right there. I remember when she first came out, like we used her in arena with like a Volgoth. Man, it was like you were not taking that team down. You were sitting there beating your head up against the wall. Trunda was like not even like, okay, yeah, you tickled me a little bit. But very, very solid. She's great for faction wars. She's great for arena early game, gold 3, gold 4. Definitely great for faction wars. And even in Hydra, I remember we were using her quite a bit because of the veil. So really, really solid pick right there. 100% agree. Right behind that. I think you hit the Babe Ruth hit that Grand Slam, and you're 4 points right now. All right, so my last pick. This one was kind of hard for me, right? I wanted somebody who's going to fill a couple of different roles, and the thing with this one is he was part of a fusion a while back, and I think it was like maybe the Brogni fusion. I may be mistaken. It's been a while. But he provides a decent shield on a 2-turn cooldown, and that's Lordric Falconheart. The A1 places a decreased attack. You got a 60% chance of placing it, right? A2 gives you a cleanse on one ally, granted, with an ally protect. It's on a 3-turn cooldown. But the A3 books up to a 2-turn cooldown with a 24% shield, right? Of this champion's max HP. I think the highest I've been able to build this guy on my account with not like crazy OP gear was like 75, 80k HP. So you're getting that shield, but it's on a 2-turn cooldown. Scarab, normal, hard mode, Cintranos, gonna be solid. You need the decreased attack, he's got you right there. And his aura, again, it's in Doom Tower, Plarium, all battles. But very solid pick right there. I think, you build him, you're not going to regret it, especially if you build him with a nice thick HP. He's definitely going to be solid. But, I don't want people to think those are the only ones. We do have some honorable mentions, right? What you got for me?
Okay. I do have one that I didn't talk about, and I actually want to talk about her. She's in the Sacred Order. This champion, man, whenever you see her sometimes in the waves, you're like, oh, the wave's not going to be that bad. You put a whole bunch of debuffs, you're like, bro, where did all the debuffs go? And why are they on me now? So, definitely this epic's going to be Sanguinia. Um, I remember when she first came out, I wanted to build her right away because I thought, whoa, I want to use this for Dragon. Dragon, sends debuffs to you when he spits, and I was like thinking, how cool would that be if I could actually use the A3 to transfer all those debuffs back at the boss and cleanse everybody else. So it's like a cleanse and a reflect back. But she also has the A2, which is really good, Holy Blood, that places a block debuffs buff on all allies and a continuous heal on a 3-turn cooldown. I mean, she's really good, tanky champion as well. 20,000 HP and almost 1,200 defense at 105 base speed with all the kit right there. I was like, man, that must be a must. I gotta build her out.
Yeah, very solid. I know that Murder Rink a while ago did a hidden gem video, and he put her out there, and like she is ridiculous. Like, especially like you said, when you debuff everything like Doom Tower and some of these waves, and she comes in and just like, oh, really? Come on. Very, very solid pick right there as an honorable mention. And then I've got one right here as an honorable mention, and the only thing with this one is she's a little conditional, but it's Excruciator. Now, very cool looking champion. A1 does pretty decent damage, right? Attacks one enemy, damage increases by 20% while attacking under Veil. Heals a champion by 25% if the target, if the damage, 25% without Veil, right? So if she's with Veil, she's going to boost her damage. Without Veil, she's going to get a heal. So it's a little bit conditional. The A2, actually, if she's under a Veil, will block revive somebody, which is really, really solid. And then her passive places a Veil at the start of this champion's turn, at the beginning of each champion's turn. Sorry, been a long day, guys. Been a long day. And then places a Veil buff on the champion for 1 turn each time they kill an enemy. So, I think we were talking off camera, and you made a mention like she's a great candidate for Frostbiter. If you kill like one of the spiderlings, you leave them up just a little bit enough, and then you boom block revive her. So that's my honorable mention right there. Now, Jay, what words of wisdom do you have for anybody out there who's looking to build some of these champions?
So pretty much, a lot of these champions people don't look at as like maybe some of them, maybe some people are consider them top 10, but you have to look, the value. That's why we did the first part and we're doing this one, looking at champions that are not just good in one area. They might be more multi-usable. You can use them for faction wars, you can use them for Doom Tower, use them for Centranos, or maybe even dungeons if you really need them. And whatever content comes in the future. I think when building these champions, you definitely want to prioritize the role that they're doing. So if they're supposed to be a ASTD, right, a support controller, then do that. Maximize those stats, speed. If they're supposed to be like a Lodric, you want to maximize HP, getting to 2-turn cooldown, so be tanky, high defense. You might even want res, things like that. If you're trying to use an A1 and it has decreased attack, make sure you have the right accuracy to land it and speed to keeping it on the boss. Pretty much overall, don't worry about trying to build these supports with a lot of damage. That's not going to be optimal because you're not going to probably reach certain thresholds to be good for this hard mode Centranos.
Solid advice. Solid advice. I think the only thing I'm going to touch on is, the days of us pulling epics and rares being a 3 and 4 star chicken are over, guys. Make sure you take a look at it, take a look at the skill kit, see if you need to build them, and you got 2 of your favorite content creators here that are willing to build anything for you guys. Feel free to reach out to us, and we'll put some guides out and see what we can do with. But yeah, guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you do enjoy the video, smash that like button. Go and subscribe to Jay's channel if you already haven't. In the description below, we will put his channel in, and I'll also put it in the pinned comment, guys. He deserves it. He is an awesome content creator. Jay, real quick, where can everybody find you right now?
Both on Twitch and YouTube, one name, Jerastar3.
Okay. Now, I got to put you on the spot, man. Shout outs. What you got for me?
I have shouted this out with this person before, but I just kind of got a notification on my phone, like literally an hour before we started doing this. Did Bronco find a way to make Emic create a true unkillable in Amius the Lunar Archon? How? If Amius can ignore those buffs. So I'm gonna have to give it to Bronco Raid Shadow Legends. He's been doing a great work in terms of PvE and helping out the community in terms of free to play and helping people progress. So I gotta give it to him.
Bronco Raid's definitely a solid content creator out there. Looks, you know, we like to think about 5-head. I think this guy's on like a 10-head level, but I think what he's using is he's using that taunt on Emic.
I see.
But again, guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video. And as always, much love, much appreciation. Be safe, be well, be good to each other. We'll catch you guys next time.